Welcome to Launch Over 40 Radio with Yolanda Kennedy. And today we're going to talk to Pamela Gockley, the reputation coach. And before we introduce Pamela, I really want to discuss online reputation. The one thing about doing anything online, socially or business-wise, is that it doesn't go away. It's always there. Even if you want to take it down, it's never truly offline. So as a business person, what should you put up and how personal should you really get on social media? And how much should you really put that's permanent? And how much do you really want out there, especially as a woman business owner? And if you're not a business owner yet, if you would like to be, how much should you put on your personal pages? And how much should you share publicly? And the reason I keep saying publicly is because these platforms are very public platforms. Even though I know sometimes there are some restrictions, only your friends can see it. Who do you want to have your contact information? Along those lines. But the truth of the matter is, it's really a public platform. And as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google, a lot of them are making rule changes, a lot of them are changing their guidelines. How private is your real information? I know I listened to the TV a couple of weeks ago, and the young lady was upset because her image was used on a commercial that she didn't get permission for. No one talked to her. She actually, it was a billboard, and she actually was driving down the road and saw her picture of herself, no makeup, hot curlers, and basically just, waking up on this billboard that was actually on one of the main highways where she lived. So because she had it on a public platform, it was considered public information. And she really didn't have a right to request for it to be down, and it wasn't considered private. So these are just some of the things that, we need to think about when we're on social media, on public platforms, and even pictures and stuff that we upload of our children or personal events, vacation. So, that's just my 2 cents, as a creator of Launch Over 40, with working with women who's over 40 who would like to start a business and don't know where to start. So Pamela Gockley has been in business for over 20 years. In 2010, she decided to write a book based on her success, failures, and observations from being a woman in business, an entrepreneur in a male-dominated technology industry. The theme of her book focused on personal, professional development. Pam brings with her an award-winning wealth of business and employment experience, and in addition to her role at Gockley Associates, she is also the president, CEO, of Vigilant Internet Services Corp., which is a full-service web designing, web host, and management company based in Reading, PA. And I know that she is coming through. There she go. And her book is called The Reputation Factor. Hey, Pamela, can you hear us? Hey, Pamela, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, it's Pam.
How are you?
We're having some technical difficulties at this end, but I think we have them straightened out.
Okay, that's fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can't see you, but
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Now, Pamela, I had just introduced you before you had came on, and we talked about the fact that you've been in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah, you were breaking up there.
Okay, is this a little better? I'm going to repeat what I said, Pam.
Good.
Okay, we was talking about the fact that you had wrote the book in 2010, The Reputation Factor, and before that you had spent 20 years as pretty much in a male-dominated industry.
Yes.
And we before that we was also mentioning about the online reputation, about social media, and how women need to be safe in that aspect, and how we need to basically understand that anything that goes online is considered a public domain, no matter how much we think that we're keeping it private.
Right. If you want to be private, and you cannot be online, then online is not private. It's not something you can take away. You can delete it, but it's still there always and forever. It's on somebody's server. So when you're thinking about your reputation, you have to be very careful. And the social media is a communication tool, so it is your choice to use it or not. And if you choose to use it, you just need to be aware of the impact it may and could and probably will have on you.
Now, some women don't think they're going to be in business. They may have a professional job, and they're just using it for personal at this time. What recommendations would you have for someone who's saying that, right now it's just personal or just my family and friends, and it may not be a factor down the line?
Well, you have to be aware of the terms of service for every one of those websites, because sometimes your friends can be seen, things can be seen by their friends because they're friends. So you have to be aware of actually how the website operates. But when you're thinking about your reputation, and then if you're choosing to use communication tools like social media, you have to be aware of what your non-cyber, I call it, reputation is. Are you known for being reliable? Are you known for being no nonsense? And when you start posting things on social media about politics or religion, you may get a different kind of reputation than you really, really want. So my big motto for 2014 is you have to be aware of everything you say and everything you do has an impact on everybody around you. So you have to decide what kind of impact you're going to have. Is it going to be a positive impact? Are you going to discuss every personal detail of your life on social media? Or you, like me, I usually like to watch and see what people are doing and saying. It's entertaining for me to watch, posting videos of their kitty cat, or they're out to dinner with their husband, or they're celebrating an anniversary, or they just got a new job. So sharing information like that, you really need to be aware of how you want to approach this thing, because you can either approach it in a negative way or a positive way. And people sometimes forget they have that choice, and they set what's going to be happening. It's up to you. So if you want to be out there, trivializing things that are happening in the news, or you want to be talking about, a left side or a right side in politics, or people's personal civil liberties, probably not a good place to start, because it's usually a one-sided conversation. Last time I checked, conversations usually need two people. So.
Okay, we're getting a little bit of feedback. Are you hearing us clearly?
I am hearing you, yeah.
Okay. Now, Pamela, let's go through the fact that you started with web design, hosting, management in a time that women really wasn't in that part of the industry.
Right. Coding is usually a male industry. I'm so excited when I meet other females who actually understand code. And, so there's a difference between the actual structure and creation of a website, and then you actually have to decide and determine what you want your website to read or how you want it to read. So we like to think of ourselves as a marketing company that helps you develop the message for your business or for you personally. If you're looking for a job, that would be a resume. If you're in business, it would be a website to sell your products or services. So if you're looking for a job and you're looking for your resume, and sometimes you consider doing a private or a personal website for yourself if you're looking for a job. So having a website about you personally, if you're looking for a job, is not out of the question. But you have to think about what you want on there. What do you want the resume to say, and how you want to portray yourself is just as important as being a business owner and portraying yourself.
So would you recommend that you have a website that talks about like who you are, your background, separate?
I would. And, if you're a job seeker looking for a job, one of the biggest problems I come across, and one of the biggest things that can affect the reputation, is you don't know what you want to do. Now that may sound really basic, but I talk to people all the time through career coaching, and they don't really know what they want to do, or they want a financial planning job and make $70,000 a year, and yet they don't have the skills in financial planning to demand $70,000 a year. So you need to first decide what you want to do, and then make sure you have the skills or the qualifications to do that job. So if you do a personal website, one-page website about your history, or again, it should read almost like a resume to put your past experience. And it can't be really what you want to do, but the resume and the website needs to stand up as to what you can do. What are your capabilities? So if you want to be a financial planner and you've been somebody who works in a beauty salon for the past 10 years, that disconnect is really going to people are going to question you, and that is really going to affect your reputation. So you have to make sure you not only know what you want to do, but you also have the qualifications to do what you want, or you have to be in the process of getting those skills. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If people are starting something new, sometimes you have to prepare for that opportunity. If you want to do it, that's great, but you need to basically show someone why they should give you the opportunity, and you have the skills to do it.
Okay, and women sometimes forget that you need to connect those dots with real skills or real experience. So, for example, I wrote my book based on my 18 years, 20 years, I don't even know how long anymore, of being in business. So I wrote the book as a leverage of what I'm already doing, as an extension, because it makes common sense. So you don't want to be a photographer and then a website designer and then a truck driver, and now you're going to sell vitamins all within like a week, which some people do. And then people start looking at you like you don't know what you're talking about. And how can they trust you and put any faith in you if what you're doing really, really doesn't make any sense? Sorry about that.
No problem. And that, I think, is very important. And I think that's one of the things that some people are concerned with. It's okay to make some changes because sometimes you have to. And that's what Launch Over 40 is all about, to help women take that next step. But it has to basically, you have to follow it up with some substance.
Right, yeah, it needs to make sense. So and that's why I personally have a group of 5 women around me that are smarter than I am, to make sure I can call them up and say, hey, I was thinking about doing this, and they'll go, Pam, what are you thinking? That's crazy. Don't do that. So then I don't do those things. But you really need to be aware of what your skill levels are, what you can accomplish, and then do that. But if you want to do something you're not up on those skills, then go get them. Wishing doesn't help. When you have a dream or a passion that you want to pursue, I was thinking about this last night about what I wanted to talk about. And, I have friends who are massage therapists who have been doing it for 30 years. And they tell me they learn something new every day. I've been in this industry for over 20, and I learn something every day. And then you see these people who are in it for 5 minutes, and they think they're accomplished professionals. So you really need to be aware of where you're at. And, you can talk a good game, but when the rubber hits the road, that experience and your skill level is extremely important.